Hi, and welcome to Adventures with Grandpa. Today we're going to take a look at our water reclamation system, so why don't you come along? As you can see, the trees are almost bare here at the homestead. We've been busy trying to keep them off the grass on our septic field, and hopefully they'll build up some soil where they are on the sides of it, and we can expand this lawn area. So we still have a few trees that are still full of leaves that are waiting to dump themselves on our lawn. But that's okay. That's just part of nature's cycle. So I wanted to show you how we reclaim water here. Now basically, the Sprague homestead is an urban homestead. We're very close to the city. But what we're trying to do is utilize homestead technology to save money and to live a more sustainable lifestyle. So this is how we collect our water. Now, if you'll notice over here, there's a well. For some reason, they drilled it in the middle of our parking lot, but you know, who knows? But we don't want to use our well water to water our flower gardens and our vegetable gardens. So what we've set up here is a 1,000-liter tote, and the water that falls on the roof of the garage here goes into that tote. We put an adapter on the output, so now it's just a regular little spigot, and that gets hooked up to a pump. And from this tote here, we can supply water to this garden and the other flower garden. So we also have another 1,000-liter tote for the vegetable garden, and that collects water from the roof of the house. And with that, again, we have a water pump and a hose, and that provides water for all of our raised flower beds, our keyhole garden, and so on here in the vegetable patch. When we had to put a new roof on this shed, instead of just reshingling it, we put this clear plastic stuff on, so it brings light into the shed, and we can use it for, you know, planting early in the spring and late into the fall. So it almost makes it like a little greenhouse, but you know, of course it's not a greenhouse. But this roof covering was actually cheaper than reshingling it, and we did have leftover shingles from the roof of the house that we used for the top part. This is our woodshed, and this is made out of recycled lumber from the front porch that we tore down last spring. And we were able to reuse a lot of the lumber to build this little wood crib here. Total cost for building this was $0. We had leftover shingles from when we did the roof of the house 3 years ago, and the rest is just pieces of the old porch. But it keeps the wood nice and dry, and we can burn that in our fireplace, and that keeps the house warm as well. So that gives us a little more savings on our heating bill. So you're going to say, oh well, this is actually just a house with a property and a garden. It's not really a homestead, but it's what we're calling an urban homestead. So with the prices of food going up and everything else going up, it makes sense to grow some of our own food and you know, provide our own water, and to become a little less dependent on the grid for everything. One of the other things that we want to do with this roof here on the garage, and possibly on the house, is to put some solar panels up. That will again reduce our dependency on the grid, and reduce our hydro costs, which are going up every year, as well as our groceries. So you might say, well, hey, look at, you know, you're almost 70 years old. Are you going to be able to realize a savings by going off-grid with your electrical? Well, it's not just about saving money, it's also about building equity. So if you have systems which you're installing in your house, that adds value to your property, so that if we decide to downsize at some point, those solar panels and this water reclamation and all the improvements that we're doing on the property, that all translates into equity and means money in our pocket if we do sell the homestead at some point. So it's a better investment than what we were getting at the bank. One of the valuable lessons that we learn from sailing is to live sustainably. Obviously, when you're sailing and living on your boat, you have to look at things a little bit differently. How much energy I'm using, how much water am I using, how much food am I using, and you have to be aware of these things so that you can prolong your ability to stay at anchor or to stay off-grid. Those principles that we learn on the boat, we can apply to our home life here on the homestead. So on the boat we use solar power. It provides all of our electrical needs along with the wind generator. So we can apply those same principles to our house here. So maybe next year or the year after, we're going to put the solar panels up on the roof. That'll greatly reduce our electricity bill. It'll also add value to the property, which is the other part of that equation. We grow a lot of our own food in our garden, and that reduces our grocery bill, so that we don't have to go out and earn more money if we're safe. And you don't need a lot of property to live sustainably. Our vegetable garden was made out of a swimming pool. So rather than fix the swimming pool, we decided to make a garden out of it, which would provide groceries for us. So basically our food production would be the same as anyone else who was living in the city on a 50 by 100 lot. Instead of having a backyard full of grass, now you have a backyard full of vegetables, or part of it anyway. And even if you only have a small garden, it does produce some vegetables or some edibles that you can supplement your grocery bill with. And again, it's a savings, and every dollar that you save is $5 that you don't have to make. We're saving money. And that's part of it, because, you know, we retired so that we wouldn't have to go to work every day. And so living sustainably allows us to do that. In the city, of course, there's no shortage of water, but having a reclamation system reduces your water bill. Unfortunately, we pay a lot of money to purify water through our taxes that only gets flushed down the toilet or used to water the lawn. And that's a big consumer of water. If we can reclaim the rainwater, reuse it, it goes back into the environment, so it's not lost. And again, a big savings in the pocketbook. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and come along to our next adventure.
I'm sailing, sailing down that river, sailing down that river of dreams. I'm sailing down that river, but it seems that I don't know where I'm going. But when the day is through, I'll come back home.